Did you know that Pixar would not be possible without Star Wars? Cue to music. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very lightsaber episode of the Good Leader Podcast. Why? Because Kyle's bringing in the Star Wars Pixar connection. What the heck does that mean? You said well, Pixar would not be possible without true. Star Wars? You know I love some Star Wars. So Pixar started in 1979, and it was a sub-department of Lucasfilm, which, of course, got its main success in 1977 with Star Wars, later named Star Wars A New Hope. So it's kind of the line of, they started with Lucasfilm. They were part of ILM for a little while, if you know about Industrial Light and Magic. And then
I've seen the documentary.
Ended up becoming their own thing.
Okay. Well, that voice you hear is Kyle, the Pixar aficionado Price. We also have Brian, second-rate aficionado Harris.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Just gave himself a ham horn.
You're
There we go.
How high on the Pixar aficionado scale are you, Brian? You're going to be with us for the next few episodes.
Oh gosh, I mean, if we're looking at like the scale of America, I would say fairly high. I've watched.
Okay, here's the scale.
Okay,
you got Lemuel. I hate cartoons. Young, right over there. Okay, welcome to the show, Lim.
Feels accurate.
He doesn't like animation or cartoons at all, so he's
I will
on that.
Say I don't dislike them. I would enjoy it. Anyways, go ahead.
I'm just saying, you haven't seen most of the Pixar films.
That's true.
But Brian, so we're going to talk about Pixar, and you are somewhere in the middle, you think?
Yeah, if out of the room, third.
But you're closer to Kyle than you are
Closer to
Lim.
Kyle than Arlen.
You've seen most of the Pixar movies.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say, the people in this room are probably bigger Pixar fans than your average.
Well, you and I are, but Lemuel's lower.
Well, that's true.
Lemuel's bringing the average down.
Bottom 25%.
Glad you're here.
I was going to say 10.
Okay.
I mean, you've only seen like 3 of the movies.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, so that's not a knock. I'm just saying. But to enjoy this episode and the Pixar Palooza, which is coming up in the second half, you do not have to know all the Pixar movies, because we're talking about leadership lessons from Pixar movies, and today's episode is going to be all about Coco. Before we get into Pixar Palooza, though, I was thinking about Coco, and with each one of these for the next few, I've been listening to the episodes and thinking about what we're doing. I want to give some good leader podcast fodder. Here's something for you that if you haven't seen the episode, you don't know anything about Pixar, you don't know anything about Coco, that's okay, because I want to give a few tips. Here is a phrase that I hate, I detest. If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That's a bunch of baloney. What? I hate that phrase.
Really?
Yeah. Are you guys surprised? Yeah.
Yes. My mom told me that all the time growing up. It is part of my core belief system.
Well, Granny lied. All right. That's what I say. In the words of Tamatoa, Grandma lied.
Nice.
All right. Because there's no way that's true. If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That's the common cliche phrase, right?
Sure.
Okay. Lim, do you love what you do?
Yeah.
Do you work?
Yep.
Okay. Point for Jared. Kyle, do you love what you do?
Sure.
Do you work?
Yeah.
Point for Jared. Brian, do you love what you do?
I don't even want to give you another point, Jared.
My point is, and this is the point with Coco, and the reason I'm tying him with Coco is because he's this musician and he wants to do music, feels like that is his purpose, his passion, his calling, all those types of things, all those big level things. Even if you find your purpose, passion, calling, whatever, you're still going to have to work your tail off to be successful. You're still going to have to work hard to separate yourself. It's not like, every day I get up and I do what I love and life is peachy keen, jelly bean, everything is great. No. In fact, I'm going to pull up a soapbox right now. Whoosh. If you think you will find something in your life, good leader listeners, that is going to make you feel all those emotions and like life is grand, you are searching for the wrong things. It's a little bit like our contentment versus achievement. There is no job in this world. I don't care if you are pursuing what you call your calling, like a pastor or a minister, or if you like this, a musician, and I was born to do this. Great. It does not exclude us from hard work at all. In fact, there are some days I love what I do. Okay. I really do. I love being a part of Paradigm Shift. I love speaking. I love facilitating. I love creating. I love 90% of my job.
Sure.
I loathe about 10%.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But okay, so it's if you find what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
I understand that, but I think the sentiment behind it is...
I think the quote...
Okay, go right ahead, you two. Go right ahead.
Taking it for its literary definition, then yes, you are.
Sorry
if you're taking it for
it's not a literary definition. It could be a literal definition, but it's not a literary definition.
All right, everybody hold on.
Both.
The sentiment behind it is...
I'm on a soapbox, Kyle.
I know you're on a soapbox.
Okay, thank you.
I'll get on an opposing soapbox.
Go ahead, pull it up.
Opposite side.
Pull it up.
That's a very light soapbox.
What kind of soapbox was
It
that?
was like a
It's
Kleenex
some
box.
Dove.
A lot of bubbles, light and soapy. Here's the deal. The sentiment behind it is you're not going to hate your job. I mean, generally speaking, you're going to enjoy most of your job. You're going to enjoy going to work more if you find something that you love.
Okay. Anybody else want to add to this
I've got an
argument?
amendment to the quote. If you love what you do, you'll willingly work to do it.
Oh my gosh, that's a classic Lemuel argument.
Classic.
You know,
I know,
and you're
I know,
like,
words out.
I
he's just
know.
switching the words. He
Yeah,
does this
that's
every
true.
time. When I disagree
Every
with
time.
something, he's like, well, what if we change the
find the
words? I'm
mid-
like, well, then I don't disagree with it, but you change the words.
I know.
Okay.
Tell you what.
I'm more on
Here's-
your side,
But
though.
here's my problem.
I'm on
And
more
here's
on
my
your side.
problem. In our Disneyland, our Disney World, and I'm screaming as someone who loves the Disney movies. I love
Sure.
Pixar. I love all of that kind of thing. I'm a fan. But we have this culture of fairy tale endings, romanticized passions and pursuits.
I get it.
That as a child, you are built to believe you are built to believe there is a destiny for you, that if you find it, everything will be great and you will not have to work hard and it is wonderful. And that is a bunch of BS. That is not true. But we set our children up for that type of fairy tale ending or fairy tale life or whistle while you work. That's just not the way life is.
Yeah.
Jared doesn't like contentment.
But that doesn't mean
That's what
no.
it is.
I love I am content, and I know there are days that are not going to be great,
Yeah.
and I know
Yeah.
there might be seasons that are not going to be great.
I think
sure.
that narrative
I
might be
get that.
changing though.
I hope so.
think
We're
that
changing it.
narrative might
We're
be
part of
changing.
changing
We
it
are-
right here on
we
the
are
Good Leader
changing it
Podcast.
on the
Thank you,
podcast.
Brian.
You're
Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Because it was definitely one of the things of, listen, you can be whatever you want when you grow up, and that is not true.
That is also not true.
I
I
will
would be
never
in
be an
the
NBA. I'll never be an NBA player. There's
Wow.
0%
Wow.
chance.
You guys both wanted to
Wow,
be in the
look at
NBA?
this.
I definitely did. Any professional sport,
Any
really.
professional sport would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But that is never going to happen.
Isn't it
for me.
harder
I'm
to
not-
get in
that
the
is not what
NBA
I'm
than
gonna
Harvard?
do.
I believe
Yes.
that's
Isn't
true.
that like
for
the-
high school
1000%?
students? Yeah, absolutely.
Something like that.
It's an incredibly low percentage, laughably low to make it to any professional sport.
Yes.
But that is something that I think probably all of us in this room grew up hearing our entire
Yeah.
life, and I think now as a new parent, I mean, we just had our little boy 10 months ago, and I think that it's something that in those circles, and a lot of the circles I'm having, is that is a common conversation of, I'm never going to tell my kid that they can be whatever they want.
Okay.
Because that's not true.
Okay.
So I think the narrative is starting to flip
Well,
back to
dig
a
a
sense
ditch,
of
Miles.
realism.
And I don't know. I think you can be a lot of things, though. I don't want to come across as like.
Absolutely.
But even if you be what you want to be, do what you want to do, it will still be hard work.
Yeah.
There are days that you're not going to feel like it.
Sure.
There are days that it's going to feel like work. And I think there is the underlying tone of that sentiment. And much like this movie Coco, like there is this destiny, there is this thing out there that I have that will fulfill me in ways that is beyond the limitations of human emotion. And I'm like, wait a minute, slow down. Okay? Slow down, Coco. I mean Miguel.
Can I share a tool that I found that may
love it.
be an answer to this?
Go ahead.
So there's an idea in Japanese culture. There's a Japanese word called ikigai, 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 and it's basically like your reason for being. And they say like to find your purpose. Back to this whole work idea.
Okay.
It's 4 different things. It's can I make money doing it?
Okay.
Do I like it? Am I good at it? And does it bring value to the world? So the quote that we've been talking about.
Okay.
Do I like it? That's only one part out of this ikigai.
Yeah.
So
You
my
do what you
stance
love.
is you should do what you love.
Yeah.
It's one of the 4 parts.
I'm
though.
okay with that
You
too.
should make money doing it. You should be good at it. You should bring value to the world through your work. If you
Yeah.
can find something that does all 4 of those things, work that job.
Well, that's pretty good because if you love to do it, but it doesn't make you money, it's a hobby. Nothing
Right.
wrong with having a good hobby.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with it. I think too many people try to turn their hobby into a job or a
I do music
lifestyle.
production and I earn a little bit of money, but I'm not doing it to support my family.
Well, that's a small flex, though. Nice
Yeah.
job.
Hey, thanks. Ithendus.
Well, but even I'm friends with some country music stars and superstars.
Yeah.
And they have to work really hard.
Yeah.
Even though they're doing what they love in singing music, like this literal thing that many people think I would love to be a musician. I would love to be an American Idol. I would love to be those things. And even then, it's a lot. They're essentially business owners. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're
Yeah,
you know,
for
when
sure.
when I've spoken to, Carrie Underwood's team, when I'm spoken with the Swan Brothers, it's like, this is a full-time job that you're doing.
You're
But
the
they love
CEO
what they
of
do.
your own brand.
You're the CEO of your own brand. And then they hire a bunch of people. They're essentially like, wow, they are 90% business owner,
Right.
10% singer. And so that's my rant. I'll step off the soapbox, but before we go to the break and talk about Coco, I just want to throw it out there, good leaders. You can be a good leader and be very frustrated where you are, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you have to quit your job. It doesn't mean that you have to change everything about life. Maybe it means like you need to work through this frustration,
Yeah.
work through this hard day. Yeah, take care of business, do your thing. When we get back from the break, We are going to talk about Coco, and my hot take is going to scorch the earth.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are tuning in to the Good Leader podcast and you just so happen to be working within the student access environment in any way, shape, or form, I want you to know that Paradigm Shift offers an array of services to help your students become better versions of themselves, help your staff become better prepared to serve the students of today.
Dang.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
Thanks.
Brian's got that radio voice.
Brian,
Coming in hot.
extemporaneous
I've been recruited for
Harris.
a radio show a couple times.
Oh, have you?
Really?
Yeah,
The Good
it's
Leader
hilarious.
podcast?
It's not the Good Leader podcast. No, I believe it was a 101.7 Okie Country.
Nice.
Come on.
Oh, that's pretty good DJing right there.
Thanks.
Give me a little intro for a country song. You know what I'm saying? Give me something. Give me something.
Oh,
It's,
gosh.
You know, it's about to come on the radio. Here's Brian Harris. Give me a little something. You know what?
I can't do it on the spot. Give me a better prompt.
Maybe the next. Oh, cue up Coco. Here we go.
Okay.
Well, you know what?
I lost it.
Hey,
I lost the mojo. I lost the mojo.
Am I good at it? All right, never mind.
Does he like it? I bet he does.
Do I like
knew
it?
it.
I love
Not good at it.
I love talking.
Does it
for
make
a
me
living.
money? Absolutely
No. You know what, Kyle? Iki guy holds up. You're right. That was good.
Hold some weight.
That was
Hold
good.
some weight.
Hey, today we're talking about Coco, and I'm just, we got 5 topics. We got 5 categories, 5 questions. Quotes, lessons, who would you hire, hot takes, and personal paradigm shift. Now, I'm going to tell you, I rewatched Coco for this.
Oh, really?
I did.
Nice.
I like Coco as a movie. I'm pretty low on it with leadership lessons. So
Yeah.
I don't have any quotes. I got a few lessons. I got a really hot take. Do you guys have anything you want to offer? We're not going to go in any particular order here. Just tell me what you got. What do you got?
I'm gonna be
Kyle.
honest. I was prepping for this one and I didn't come up with a lot. So I may agree with you on it may not be my favorite leadership movie. A couple things. Best quotes. Nothing's more important than family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Remember me, though I have to travel far. Those are the only 2 that I came up with.
Remember me.
Nice.
That was good.
Thank
that
you.
was good.
Okay. Hey, nothing's more important than family. That's nice. That's a nice
Yeah.
sentiment. I don't even know if I agree with that. But
I
okay.
don't know if I agree with that either. And honestly, looking into it, I know I was hard fought for Coco a few episodes
All right, I'll
ago.
just
You
walk
did.
out.
Don't
I
worry.
was.
I'm coming
I
at
did.
you.
Y'all
I
kicked
did.
out
I
Inside
fought
Out,
hard.
right?
We kicked out Inside
We
Out
did.
for
We did.
Coco.
We
Wow.
did. And
What?
I stand by Coco
was not on that
making
episode.
it. I stand by Coco making it in just for the entirety of the movie. As far as quotes go, not a lot of one-liners.
Well, give me the entirety of the movie then. Give me the
the
list.
entirety of the
Give me
movie,
list.
just like I said a couple weeks ago or a couple episodes ago on the show. Your reality. Sorry, your perception
Man,
of the past.
great argument.
Your,
You are killing.
Your perception. I'm not letting Jared win this one. Your perception of the past does not define your current reality.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Your
Your
perception of the past does not define your current reality.
Okay, so you're talking about like Mama Imelda?
Yes.
Essentially,
Well, the
or
entire
whole-
family's thought. Also, you're really speaking a lot on how Coco is all about like, oh, I want to do music for the rest of my life. That's not necessarily the entire theme of the movie. The movie is his family hates music because of the past that is perceived
Yeah.
that happened to them because of music.
Yeah.
And he is bound and determined to break that past perception.
Right. So at the first of the movie, he wants to be a musician. He's got his little hideout
Sure.
at his house.
Yeah.
He goes to the downtown plaza to be a musician. In the second act, he steals the guitar from Ernesto de la Cruz.
Yes.
He wants to be a
From
musician.
the-
And then when he goes to the underworld, he is seeking Ernesto de la Cruz to get his blessing to be a musician. And in the end, he wants to play music still. You're
Well,
right.
no.
That's
He's
how
not
it's
getting
all
his
about
blessing.
him
He's not
wanting
getting
to be
his
a
blessing to be a
musician.
musician. He's getting his blessing to try to get out of the underworld. That's
To
the only
become
reason.
what's the blessing though?
The blessing is for him to allow him to go back to the world of the living. It's not
And be a
necessarily for a
musician.
musician.
100% not true. Because Mama Imelda gave him a blessing and he zapped back. He zaps back and then he immediately steals the guitar again. He goes back into the underworld and she's like, I give you my blessing to do this and this. And he's like, and she will not say be a musician. So he's like, forget you, Mama Imelda. And he runs off. That's the whole movie. The whole movie is she won't bless music.
Yeah.
I just watched it. I just watched it.
The whole movie.
So, oh my gosh. Okay. Either way, it doesn't matter. The point is the kid
Yeah.
wants to be a musician.
He does want to be a musician.
Well, I actually like your premise that the present doesn't, or the perception of the past does not. I like that.
Sure.
Actually, my 2 lessons were akin to that. One, I do like that this whole family is kind of stuck in this rut. Okay, so my direction though is not necessarily perception. I have 2 lessons very quickly. Forgiveness is powerful. Forgiveness is powerful. Hector didn't do what she thought he did. Didn't leave him. I mean, he left for a season, but he's trying to come back, and she didn't know that. But even if that did happen, she has it within her own power to forgive her husband and move on and create a life instead of holding on to this bitterness so long that it affects generations. Now, this is deep limb. This is some liminal.
This is like camping.
This is like camping. This is what you like. This is the liminal pool. This is the depth you like to swim.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because of her lack of forgiveness, the grandma's lack of forgiveness, she shapes generations. That's powerful stuff.
It's a stronghold.
So it's a stronghold in her life. So forgiveness is powerful, number one. My number two is actually about Ernesto de la Cruz. Ego drives you to do terrible things.
Yeah.
Ego drives you to do terrible things.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, right?
Yeah.
I did like that lesson. I was like, man, this guy, if you just think of him as a villain, he is an awful villain all because of his ego. And I think that's something, because we're trying to figure out the best leadership lesson here. So I was really striving on this one. I was like, all right, I can identify with Ernesto de la Cruz. Not because I want to kill people. That's a little harsh. That's a little crazy. But because the reason he's doing that is because of his own ego. And he's holding on to this perception that people have of him. And I think we can all identify with that one. So that's what I got. All right. Maybe it's a little bit better than he is. I'm talking it out, actually.
Okay.
Maybe it's a little better than I'm giving it credit for.
I will say there is a cool theory. Have you heard about the right and left screen theory with Coco?
No. What's that?
Oh, it's really interesting. So the filmmakers, the animators, the deeper that I always call him Coco. Miguel. The deeper that Miguel goes into the underworld, he's always facing the right side of the screen as he moves in that direction. And then as he's coming back home, he always faces left. So he always goes from left to right.
You
It's pretty
gotta
cool.
be kidding me. No, I have not seen
It's like
this.
Super Mario Bros. He always goes right whenever he's going deeper in. And then, it's pretty, check it out. It's pretty cool.
Un poco loco.
Un poco
In my opinion.
loco. Yeah.
Okay. I will say, his Un poco loco, great.
Incredible.
Very catchy.
I need to watch it just for that.
honestly.
That's
Un
some like
poco loco.
serious DP
But
work.
I will say,
right
just
there.
like
Also, did you
just
know-
like the film, the plot of it is fine. The song is that's catchy.
It's meh.
But the leadership, there's nothing that's like, wow, that was a big turning
I know.
moment.
I was really stretching for it. Did you also know that in the underworld, that the depth of the underworld, it starts like the base are like Mayan pyramids.
Oh,
And so
yeah, that's cool.
as you look at the underworld, if you look at the base, it's Mayan pyramids, and then as it goes up, it's more modern.
Huh.
The higher the
That's
underworld
cool.
is.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So as a movie, I liked it. Okay, let's finish this out. Who would you hire in Hot Takes? Who would you hire, Kyle?
No one.
Who would you hire?
The twins.
The twins. Nice. Lemuel hasn't seen it. I would hire Mama Imelda. Hard worker, entrepreneur, started her own business, generational success, even though it's based in bitterness. I'd hire Mama
Didn't
Imelda.
let Amanda find her.
Kyle, did you say you had a hot take on this one?
I got
Or
a
no?
hot take. Yeah, I
let
got
me
a
hear.
hot
Let me
take.
hear the hot take.
The Book of Life is another Mexican-based story that came out
That's a
at the
George
same
Lucas
time.
movie, isn't it?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Keep going. I think it is.
It's better than Coco.
Oh, that is a hot take.
Much better.
I haven't seen it.
Much
I
better.
haven't seen it in a long time. I'll need to rewatch that.
Give it a watch. Better than Coco. All
right, my
better
hot
leadership
take.
lessons, better plot,
Here's my hot take.
better songs.
Miguel is a punk. He's like Ariel. Ariel, the most overrated Little Mermaid, overrated princess. There's no redeeming qualities of
Sheesh.
Ariel. She's terrible.
Coming in hot.
She is terrible. Ariel's terrible.
Two movies at the once.
She is selfish. I've said this to the girls many times. When we watch The Little Mermaid, I ruin it for the girls. I'm like, watch how terrible she is. She is.
This is a parenting
she is
moment.
It is a parenting moment. I'm like, she is selfish. She is self-centered. She's basing all these things on a boy she has seen on a ship. She looked at him, and she's gonna wreck her entire kingdom for that. Oh my gosh, she has zero responsibility. Okay, show up to the concert on time, Ariel. That's all we're asking you to do. Oh, I was busy. I was pouting in my grotto? That's what you were doing?
Hey, we're talking about Coco here.
Hold on, I'm getting back to it. Don't you worry, I'm making a connection.
I'm waiting for the circle back.
People will resonate with Ariel. And now when I connect the dots, I'm landing this plane because then what's little Miguel doing? Same stuff. I want to play music. I love the music, huh? I'm in the plaza with the mariachi.
This is Coco, not Luca.
I'll get to Luca in a second. Okay? Miguel, he is selfish and self-centered. You want to play music? Great. I get it. I'm not saying that the parents are doing a great job. I would say you could encourage music a little bit, like I always said. But everything he does, so much then, he steals, he's a thief. He breaks into a tomb to rob a grave. He's a grave robber, literally.
Wow.
All right? After he robs the grave, he's sent to the underworld. Now, just imagine if that happens to you. And they tell him, hey, in the mysticism of this underworld, you just need a blessing from your family. Hey, you happen to have your family right here. They give him the blessing to go back. She does not bless the music. She blesses everything else. Boom, he is zapped back. Guess what the first thing he does is? steals the guitar again, and he's zapped back to the underworld. Then he promises Hector, help me get to De La Cruz. I'll put your picture back on the Ofrenda. Is that Ofrenda? Is that what it's called?
think so.
I think that's right. Yeah.
I'll put it back on there. Great. He finds De La Cruz, has this like, oh, my grandpa's the greatest thing ever, and he totally forgets about Hector. So when Hector shows back up, he's like, you little liar. You said you would help me. I'm right here. You're not helping me. He's just a punk. Miguel's a punk the whole way. I have no redeeming qualities in Miguel.
Wow. Let me flip it on you.
Flip it, and then we're done.
What did
Hear this.
what did your dad do as a profession?
My dad's an electric lineman, the Brotherhood of Electrical Workers International.
Incredible.
God bless him in the storms
Appreciate
and in the
him
rain
in the
and
storms.
the snow.
Yeah, appreciate him through the weather. What if your dad came to you and said, Jared, you have no other option but to be an electrician for the rest of your life?
I love music, Dad.
Exactly. You would not have done that, Jared.
Let me find a grave and
You
rob-
would have been a
rob the
little
grave.
punk too.
Let me rob graves.
You would have wanted to be a cobbler for the rest of your life?
Ain't nothing wrong with being a cobbler.
There's nothing wrong with it, but if you don't want to do it,
Excuse me.
I
Let me
love
hold on.
cobbler.
Thank you.
Dynamite drop in.
Welcome to the show,
incredible
Lemuel.
about it. That was a good sound moment, Lim.
Okay, yes. Hey, I'm not saying that the family was all virtuous, taking music away from the kid. But in liking music, you do not have to be a self-centered, grave-robbing liar.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair, I guess.
Sheesh.
All right.
I mean,
with
you're
that-
not wrong.
When you had no other option, you backed into a corner, you know?
He had lots of other options. Lots of other options. Lots. Like, don't steal from the grave. Like, that's an easy option.
Brian's
I
dying
guess.
on this hill.
Also,
It's just I don't know.
nitpick. I really wish Mama Coco would go back to little girl version at the end of the movie. Instead, she stays Grandma Coco.
I was like, that's not how aging works.
It is
Jared.
weird to
No,
see
when
that.
they're,
Talking
when
about-
their force
Oh,
goes,
yes. It's
when they're
kinda
like
weird
force
moment,
goes,
yeah.
to bring it back to
Yes.
Star Wars at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Hector went to his self,
Yeah.
Imelda went to herself, but Mama Coco's great grandma. I wish they would have changed that. Hey, Pixar,
a good point.
hit up the Good Leader podcast. We'll give you some coaching on how to do movies. All right. Until next time, go out there and be a good leader, not a self-centered, grave-robbing liar.